Story number 1. When Lauren entered my life, she was a lively 23-year-old, brimming with dreams that matched her dynamic personality. Our connection was instant, tied by common passions, and our bond deepened swiftly. Lauren had a profound love for modeling, and securing a significant modeling contract 2 years after we met seemed like her ultimate aspiration coming to life. She was overjoyed, and I couldn't have been prouder. However, the demanding nature and harsh realities of the modeling scene were beyond what we had envisioned. Facing immense pressure to fit into the industry's strict beauty standards, Lauren altered her lifestyle dramatically, a choice that would challenge her well-being and our relationship more than we could have predicted. At first, the shifts in Lauren's behavior were minor. She started to follow extreme diets, eliminating many foods she previously enjoyed. Her approach to eating became more controlled and inflexible. Her gym visits became more frequent and intense, driven by an unwavering quest for an ideal physique. Even at social events, she started avoiding food, opting instead for constant caffeine to stay energized, all under the guise of commitment to her career. But in reality, these were early signs of Lauren falling into an eating disorder, pressured by the constant need to remain slim for her modeling gigs. The transformation in Lauren became undeniable over time. Her lively spirit was overshadowed by a fixation on her looks and diet. She started avoiding social gatherings, scared of disrupting her strict dietary and exercise schedule. Her use of stimulants grew, with cocaine becoming part of her routine to maintain the high-energy demands of her lifestyle while keeping her hunger in check. Physically, she was changing too, losing the healthy glow she once had, becoming noticeably thinner and weaker. Concerns from those close to her were dismissed by Lauren, who believed her actions were necessary sacrifices for her career. The tipping point in Lauren's struggle was devastating. She had dwindled to a fraction of her vibrant self, both in spirit and body. The modeling world, once welcoming, now rejected her for being too unwell to work. Losing the job she cherished was a harsh reality check for us both. It was a painful experience, witnessing the person I cared about lose themselves to their ambitions. The battle with her eating disorder had nearly cost Lauren her life, along with her career. Starting the road to recovery was tough and filled with hurdles. Lauren's admission to a specialized clinic for eating disorders signified the first step towards recuperation, offering her the holistic treatment she sorely needed. This period was intense, filled with therapy, nutritional counseling, and gradually repairing her relationship with food and her own body. Watching Lauren slowly regain parts of herself during outpatient care and ongoing therapy brought back the person I had originally fallen for. Recovery was not straightforward, and setbacks were part of the journey. Yet, with each forward step, Lauren became stronger and more determined. Her ordeal highlighted the toxic aspects of the modeling industry and the unrealistic beauty standards it imposes. Through her recovery, we learned valuable lessons about self-love and the perils of seeking approval at the expense of one's health. Now, Lauren is a vocal advocate for body positivity and mental health, using her experiences to encourage change in the modeling industry and support others facing similar struggles. She stresses the importance of inner beauty and the dangers of compromising health for professional success. Our relationship, having endured through such a storm, is now stronger, enriched by a deeper mutual understanding and support. Lauren's fight with her eating disorder was a challenging phase in our lives, yet it also showcased her incredible resilience and inner strength, attributes that truly define her beauty. Story number 2. My existence had always unfolded as a sequence of foreseeable events, a serene and unvarying progression devoid of any real thrill. That changed when I stumbled upon the world of sports betting. Initially, it was a mere enhancement to the enjoyment of watching my preferred sports teams in action. The exhilaration of making accurate predictions and defying the odds was utterly captivating. Unbeknownst to me, a simple pastime meant to augment the excitement of sports evenings quickly evolved into a consuming passion. This obsession led me on an unexpected voyage, marked by extreme peaks of joy and profound troughs of despair. With each triumph, I reveled in the opulent lifestyle enabled by my gains. Gourmet meals, high-end timepieces, and spontaneous luxury trips became my new standard. Every win not only padded my wallet, but also inflated my pride as I reveled in the jealousy and admiration of those around me. My existence transformed into a gamble of high stakes, where the euphoria of success was magnified by lavish indulgences. I was ensnared in a dream, propelled by the thrill of the gamble, firmly believing my winning streak was endless. The bliss of success obscured the looming disaster, as I lived in a perpetual state of excess and exhilaration. Nevertheless, the ecstasy of victory eventually succumbed to the torment of defeat. My betting transformed from an occasional indulgence to a compulsive quest, with the stakes escalating as I chased the elusive highs of past wins. The defeats started accumulating, each more debilitating than the last. My savings evaporated, debts accumulated, and the financial abyss I was plunging into grew more foreboding. The relentless losses and mounting financial strain began to erode my personal life, causing friction with loved ones. Trapped in a downward spiral, I found myself powerless to escape the clutches of my betting fixation. The stark realization that I had reached my nadir was a jolting epiphany, alerting me to the ruinous course I had taken. Confronting the magnitude of my downfall was devastating. My betting had become so unmanageable that I resorted to selling personal and inherited treasures to finance my next wager. Debt collectors turned into constant visitors, and the prospect of losing my home loomed large. The humiliation of deceitfully borrowing money from friends to feed my gambling, only to squander it, left me alienated and scorned. Hitting rock bottom was epitomized by my attempt to sell my fiancé's jewelry, a betrayal that epitomized the loss of not just financial stability, but also trust and affection. My addiction's repercussions extended beyond financial ruin. They were dismantling the very essence of my existence. Admitting to my addiction was a crucial first step towards rehabilitation. It was a sobering and challenging process, fraught with self-doubt and temptation. However, the encouragement of my family and the expertise of professionals illuminated my path through the gloom. Through counseling and a renewed pledge for change, I began to reconstruct my life, prioritizing wholesome activities and repairing the bonds I had broken. The path to recovery was arduous, with daily hurdles, yet it was a journey of personal growth, enlightenment, and redemption. In reflecting on my path, I recognized that surmounting gambling addiction was not merely about restoring financial health, but about rediscovering my identity beyond the gambling tables and sports games. Recovery instilled in me the essence of self-discipline, the significance of kinship and friendship, and the resilience required to confront personal battles. My dalliance with sports betting remains a part of me, a vivid reminder of addiction's highs and lows. Yet now, I emerge stronger, more enlightened, and profoundly appreciative of my renewed opportunity at life. Story number 3. Life seemed manageable, even dull, until I found solace in the bottle. Alcohol began as a social lubricant, a way to ease the awkwardness of gatherings and add a bit of color to the grayscale routine of my daily existence. Gradually, what was once a weekend indulgence slipped into weekday habits, and then into daily necessity. The transformation was insidious, with each drink promising an escape from the monotony and stress of life. Before long, I was caught in the grasp of alcoholism, a vice that promised euphoria but led me down a path of destruction I hadn't anticipated. In the early days, drinking was synonymous with joy. Each glass brought laughter a little louder, nights a little brighter, and life a little lighter. I reveled in the feeling of invincibility that alcohol provided, the way it washed away my inhibitions and painted the world in more vibrant hues. Dinners turned into parties, and I was always at the center, the heart of the revelry. My social circle expanded, drawn to my newfound charisma and the endless flow of drinks that seemed to accompany my presence. I lived for the nights that stretched into early mornings, believing I had found the key to happiness at the bottom of a bottle. However, the illusion of control quickly shattered. The financial strain of maintaining my lifestyle became palpable, with savings draining like liquid from a cracked glass. My health deteriorated, mornings greeted by pounding headaches and a body that felt years beyond its age. Relationships soured as those I cared about became collateral damage to my self-destructive orbit. The workplace, once a realm of achievement, now a stage for my decline, as I stumbled through days clouded by hangovers or the anticipation of the next drink. My life, once filled with promise, was now a tableau of missed opportunities and broken promises. The wake-up call came in the form of a drunk driving incident. It was a miracle that no one was hurt, but the stark reality of what could have happened left me shaken to the core. The flashing lights of the police car, the cold handcuffs around my wrists, and the disappointed looks from my loved ones were the harrowing climax of my descent. Hitting rock bottom wasn't just a metaphor. It was the hard, unforgiving ground of reality where I found myself lying, forced to confront the havoc I had wreaked on my life and the lives of others. The road to recovery was steep and fraught with challenges. Acknowledging my alcoholism was a painful but necessary first step. Support from family, friends, and recovery groups provided a lifeline as I navigated the tumultuous waters of sobriety. Every day without a drink became a small victory, a reclaiming of the self I had lost to alcohol. The journey was not without its setbacks, moments of doubt where the siren call of the bottle tested my resolve. Yet, with each passing day, I grew stronger, learning to find joy not in the numbing effects of alcohol, but in the clarity of sobriety. The road to recovery led me not just back to the life I had before, but to a better, more fulfilling existence. I had faced my demons and emerged victorious, humbled by the experience and grateful for a second chance at life. Story number 4. At 19, I stood on the precipice of adulthood, armed with ambition and the boundless energy of youth. However, instead of channeling this energy into my studies or personal development, I found myself ensnared by the allure of social media. It began innocuously enough, a means of staying connected with friends and sharing moments of my life. But as the likes, followers, and comments grew, so did my obsession. Social media transformed from a platform for connection to the axis upon which my entire world spun. It promised a sense of belonging and validation I craved, pulling me deeper into its digital embrace with every scroll, post, and notification. The highs were intoxicating. Each new follower, like, and comment felt like a personal victory, a testament to my growing influence and popularity. Posting became a daily, then hourly, ritual, each upload more carefully curated than the last. Watching my follower count tick upwards gave me a rush, a tangible measure of my worth and success in the eyes of my digital audience. I reveled in the attention, crafting an online persona that was confident adventurous, and envied. This digital world became my stage, and I was determined to be its star, convinced that the number of followers I had was a direct reflection of my value in the real world. However, the relentless pursuit of digital validation began to take its toll. Nights were spent not in rest, but in the glow of my phone's screen, scrolling endlessly, obsessing over the performance of my latest post, or strategizing the next. Meals were forgotten, replaced by the dopamine rush of notifications. My academic performance plummeted as lectures and assignments became secondary to my online presence. The world beyond my screen blurred into insignificance, my physical and mental health deteriorating in the shadow of my virtual life. Friends and family watched helplessly as I withdrew further into my digital cocoon, a prisoner to the very platforms that promised connection and fulfillment. Rock bottom came not in the form of a dramatic event, but in the quiet realization of my isolation. One evening, as I sat alone, scrolling through a seemingly endless feed of strangers' lives, I understood that my relentless quest for digital validation had cost me my real-world connections. My health was in shambles, my academic career on the brink of collapse, and my personal relationships neglected and strained. The world I had built online was a facade, a collection of pixels that could not comfort, support, or love me. In that moment, the hollowness of my existence outside the algorithms and likes became painfully clear. Recovery from social media addiction was a journey back to myself. It began with small steps, setting boundaries for my online activity, rediscovering hobbies and passions that had nothing to do with likes or followers, and rekindling relationships with family and friends in the real world. Therapy and support groups offered perspective and coping strategies, helping me understand the root of my addiction and how to fill the void with genuine offline experiences. As I weaned myself off the constant need for digital validation, I found joy in the tangible, messy, and beautiful reality of life. My academic performance improved, my health recovered, and my relationships deepened, enriched by the presence and engagement that no online platform could replicate. The road to recovery was not easy, fraught with setbacks and the temptation to slip back into old habits. Yet with each day spent living rather than posting, I reclaimed my life from the clutches of social media, emerging more resilient, connected, and alive than ever before. Story number 5. Life before methamphetamine felt like a constant battle with mediocrity. My days were a blur of unremarkable routines, each moment bleeding into the next with hardly a difference. That all changed the first time I tried meth. It wasn't just a drug to me, it was a revelation, a way to break free from the chains of my mundane existence. The rush was unlike anything I had ever experienced, a surge of energy and euphoria that made me feel alive in ways I never thought possible. I dove headfirst into this new world, believing I had discovered the secret to unlocking my true potential. The highs were indescribable. Meth made me feel invincible, endowed with limitless energy and focus. Nights without sleep were not a curse, but a blessing, offering me more time to pursue work, hobbies, and social gatherings with an intensity I had never known. I became a whirlwind of productivity and charisma, or so I thought. Friends marveled at the change, initially drawn to my newfound zest for life. It seemed like I had finally broken free from the shackles of my former self, stepping into a world where I could accomplish anything. The euphoria was intoxicating, making every dose feel like a key to a kingdom where I was king. But the kingdom quickly turned into a desolate wasteland. The initial euphoria gave way to a life I no longer recognized. My health deteriorated, My once sharp mind, now foggy and fragmented. Relationships crumbled as friends and family became distant memories, replaced by a constant and desperate search for my next high. Work became an impossible task, my career a casualty to my addiction. The man in the mirror was a stranger, his hollow eyes a stark reminder of the cost of my escape. I was spiraling out of control, but the meth made me too numb to care, too disconnected from reality to recognize the ruinous path I was on. Rock bottom came crashing down in the form of handcuffs around my wrists. In a moment of desperation, I had broken into a neighbor's home, stealing anything I could pawn for meth money. The arrest was a public humiliation, the news of my actions spreading like wildfire through the community. The shame was suffocating, but worse was the realization of the hurt I had caused, the betrayal of those who had once trusted me. I was facing not just legal consequences, but the total collapse of my life as I knew it, all for a drug that had promised escape but delivered destruction. Recovery was a mountain I had never intended to climb, but there I was, at its base, looking up. The journey was grueling, filled with moments of despair, anger, and a longing for the drug that had once seemed like salvation. Support from those I had hurt, forgiveness I hardly felt I deserved, and the guidance of counselors and support groups became my lifelines. Each day was a battle, each step forward a victory over the demon of addiction that clung to my back. Learning to live again, to find joy in the simple pleasures of life, and to rebuild the trust I had shattered was a painstaking process. Yet, with every sober sunrise, I found a little more strength, a little more hope. My road to recovery is ongoing, a path I walk with a mix of caution and determination. Methamphetamine took me to the depths of despair, but in rising above it, I found a resilience and purpose I never knew I had. Here is a closing message. For those viewers in the United States of America who are battling any form of addiction, please be aware that there is an important resource available for assistance. The National Helpline, offered by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, is reachable at the phone number 1-800-662-HELP. Again, that phone number is 1-800-662-4357. This service is confidential, free of charge, and operates around the clock every day of the year, offering assistance in both English and Spanish. It is designed to provide support, information on treatment options, and referrals to local treatment centers, support groups, and organizations for those dealing with mental and/or substance use disorders. Remember, reaching out for help demonstrates courage, and numerous resources are there to aid individuals and their families on the path to recovery. Thank you.